Hello again, Internet. So I want to talk to you about what I think is going to happen on Whole Cake Island and on Wano. So, um, after they split up, I've already said that I think Zoro, Frankie, and Usopp and the Minks are going to fight against Jack and then go find Marco. So let's talk about Whole Cake Island first. So Luffy, Peckham's, and Nami, Chopper, and Brook are going to save Sanji from Big Mom's. And they're also going to look for the Poneglyph. So originally, this mission was just going to be Luffy and Peckham's going, and they were just going to get Sanji. But then they learned about the Road Poneglyphs, and so now they also have to get the Road Poneglyph. And there's no way that's just lying about, because Big Mom isn't just going to leave something that important lying about, especially since she's picked a fight with Luffy. Like, in Fishman Island, after Fishman Island, Luffy and her basically said, look, once Luffy gets into the New World, there's going to be a fight between these two. So we know she's not just going to leave the Poneglyph about. She's going to have it guarded. She's probably not going to guard it herself because she's a Yonko and she's just not going to do that. But she's going to have it guarded by top tier fighters. So we know he's not just going to be able to go in and steal it anymore. So after he gets Sanji, he's probably going to have to fight at least the top brass of Big Mom's fleet, I guess. So I see two ways this is playing out. One is he pulls Big Mom over to his side, and the other is he fights Big Mom. So there's always the third possibility that he joins forces with Big Mom, but he's not going to do that because it's Luffy. He's not going to work under somebody else. So the only way they join forces is if Big Mom joins him. And so I'm going to talk about So I'll talk about that first because it's less likely to happen. Not right away, not without a fight. But remember what Mihawk said Luffy's greatest strength is. He said that it's the ability to pull people onto his side. And we already know he has the support of one Yonko. When Big Mom also finds out that he's fighting, and that Yonko's Shanks, obviously. Now, there's not an explicit support structure there, but we know Luffy has the support, and we know that people recognize that, especially once they notice the hat. Now, Big Mom might not know that that's Shanks' hat, but I'm sure she knows, what with her information network, that there's something between Luffy and Shanks. And once she probably doesn't care so much about that, but when she finds out that Luffy's also fighting against Kaido, she might decide, look, I'm going to help this kid beat Kaido because that's in my best interest. Because if I fight him, there's a possibility I fight against Shanks. But if I help him fight Kaido, I get rid of Kaido, I gain more power, and then who cares if I fight Shanks? And so that's how that might happen. He pulls her on. Also because Jinbei, we know from his conversation with King Neptune, he plans on breaking his ties with Big Mom. And that means that likely Oda's setting it up so that Jinbei is at Whole Cake Island when Luffy is. Because Luffy's going there at the time of her tea party. And we know Jinbei is allied with her, so there's no way he didn't get an invitation, and you have to go if you get an invitation. So Jinbei's going to be there. So it's possible that Jinbei talks Big Mom into helping Luffy out. But I don't think that's as likely as Luffy fighting against Big Mom. Do I think that he personally is at Yonko level? No. But we have to keep a couple of things in mind. The first one is Jinbei's going to be there. The second one is he's going there to save Sanji, so Sanji's going to be there. And the third thing is Oda just set up Luffy's fleet, and as they pulled into Zou, or not as they pulled into Zou, but once Luffy got on to Bartolomeo's ship, he said, "I hope I see those guys soon," referring to the fleet captains, even though he doesn't really accept them as his fleet captains because that's just not what Luffy does. But it doesn't matter because he said, they say they're his fleet captains, and he said, "I hope I see those guys soon." Oda doesn't do things by mistake. If Oda says that Luffy wants to see someone soon, it means that they're going to show up again soon. Oda wouldn't just give him this fleet that purposely was designed to help him fight against Yonkos, because when they joined, they said, basically, you're going to go up against monsters soon, you're going to need a lot of help, and we're going to help you out because we like you. And so what's happening now, he's going up against a monster. And look how Oda's setting up the fight with Kaido. He's pulling in the samurai of Wano Kingdom, the Straw Hats, the Heart Pirates, the Minks, and Marco, and the rest of the Whitebeard pirates. Oda's setting this up as a war against Kaido, not just a fight. And if we look at how New World fights have started, looking all the way back to Fishman Island, even farther back if you think about it, looking back to the Straw Hats fight against Kuma on Sabaody, they're not one-on-one fights anymore. Like, against Kuma, even against just the pacifistas, they fought like the whole Straw Hats against one pacifist. And yeah, that's different, a little different, because it was to show how weak Straw Hats and the rest of the rookies really were. But then even the Whitebeard pirates were fighting not one-on-one against the admirals, but they were fighting together to take down the admirals. And then on Fishman Island, even after the time skip, even against these weaker opponents that are just there to show the strength that the Straw Hats have now, Oda had them fight 2-on-2 sometimes. Chopper and Usopp fought together, and more importantly, Jinbei fought with Sanji against the big guy whose name I'm blanking on right now, the Sea Monk. And so I think Otis, and then Doflamingo, Law, and Luffy fought together against him. So Otis setting up the New World as this place where it's not just one-on-one fights anymore. You have to fight together in order to beat the monsters of the New World. So I think what Oda's doing is he's setting it up as a fight between Luffy, Sanji, and Jinbei against Big Mom, and then his fleet captains against, his fleet captains, Nami, Chopper, and Brook against the lower tier fighters. It's also possible that someone betrays Big Mom other than Jinbei to help Luffy out. Because if you look at Doflamingo's speech, he's like, who's going to betray who next? So it's possible that someone like Bonnie or Capone betrays Big Mom to help Luffy out. I'll talk more about that in another video. But it is a possibility. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this fight goes. Because Oda's setting it up as a fight. It has to be a fight. Luffy said he's going to beat the Yonkos. He doesn't just want to go in there and steal the stuff. He's going to beat them. So I think that's what's going to happen. Him, Luffy, Sanji, and Jinbei are going to fight against Big Mom together and beat her. And so we'll talk about what's going to happen with Kaido in another video. But for now, stay classy, Internet, and I'll see you next time.